That one, okay. That one. Cool. And if you talk, you have to talk very close.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. It's all set up.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We're good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Oh, gee, that's loud, eh? Just good morning or good afternoon. Just want to get things started. And welcome you all here for an exciting project that's happening in our community. I want to thank, was it EA or AE? Sorry? AE and ECMA for helping us out through this project, and really thankful for them to bring this and actually have like the kids thing, and they're going to be at the school tomorrow visiting the kids. So just want to say welcome and thank you all for coming and showing your support to this project. I think it's a long time coming, and we're so excited. This will open so many doors for our people and for our members. There'll be so much more freedom. Just so excited, and these are just the first steps of this project. So if we could, I know the soup's getting cold and people are hungry, and if we could have Rosaline come up and bless the food, and we'll get started. And I think they have a slideshow. Do we have a slideshow too? Yeah, okay, it's coming along. I just wanted to make sure. Thanks, Rose.
Simgigat, sigdamanak and kabulsas, saan de blialen oyas losum will buxum. He look in them lisech la withla, so will accent them amagati tilhui. Ilu amgodi will kalhuxwi will udit ni. To be part of the opening and the prayer. I would just like to thank each and every one of you for honoring. And I see the beautiful children. This is what it's about, is the children and the ones that are coming in the future. I'd just like to thank Blanca and the council, and especially the group from Vancouver. It's very exciting to have this come to our community. It's always an excitement, especially for the children that are growing into our community, for the safety and all that for the children. And I'd just like to thank everyone for coming, and I'll do a prayer. Thank you to the cook. I'll see the cook always cooking such great meals. Hamiyanum lot. So la dochsnum will bow our heads. Okay, we're going to do a minute of silence. Tanya will do that. Hamayani, Lun, Lauren, our community. So, and throughout the whole Gitsan, Lachip, everywhere. Okay. Minute of silence. Ladochs no, Onagorum, Ludatsum Lachagi, Sam de Bluyelent Oyachs, will sight Godum, will calls up, Lusech la Wiltum, amdem wil als aptun. Am ja numert winechtem dem gubben en naan en ondet. Smog dem lacha. Ina siepgoed amagertit. Sagiun en naket goed godst. Wil niet dem gan wilt. Am ja lun godem gan cheats gan je. Am ja.
Oh, thank you.
jingle bells. Yeah. Yeah.
You would just leave it alone, please.
Why?
Look, come see your wuggy. Come see your wuggy. Let's go see what he's doing.
other key.
Hello. Yeah. All right. Let's get started. We'll wait until everyone has a seat. You want to be on this side? Yeah. We don't need a table to like. Okay, all right. Yeah. Great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming today. And we'll get started. So we'll start off with some introductions, and we want to do some door prizes to start, and then we'll go through the presentation afterwards. So my name is Esley Wu. I'm a structural engineer. I'm from Associated Engineering. So we flew into Terrace yesterday. We're from Vancouver. So we're very happy to be here today. We would like to hear everyone's feedback on the Kispiox Daycare complex. And I'll turn it to my team here. Frida?
Hi, Frida Leong. I'm back again. You might have seen me before, and you might be saying, why is she back? But you'll be grateful one day. So thank you for joining us. So Frida Leong, I'm the manager for Indigenous Infrastructure with Associated Engineering. And I'm also the national leader for Indigenous communities. I've been working with Indigenous communities since 2006, and our team just looks at how we can support the communities that we are with. And I want to say that I'm actually Chinese and Dusun Karasan, an Indigenous people of Malaysia.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for welcoming us into your community. It's been such a pleasure to meet a few of you already. My name is Heidi. I'm an architect. I live in North Vancouver right now, and I'm originally from Nelson in the southeast corner of BC. My parents still live there, and it has been such a pleasure not only to meet you, but to be in this beautiful land. So thanks again for your kind, warm welcome, and we're excited to get your feedback again on the daycare. And I'll pass it over to Mason.
Hi everyone, my name is Mason Boucher. I'm a structural engineer in training with Associated Engineering. Just happy to be here, happy to meet all you guys, and looking forward to helping out work on an exciting project. So thanks for having us.
Hi everyone, there's a lot of us. My name is Aidan. I'm also an architect. I grew up in Smithers, so Heidi and I flew in to Smithers, and I get to stay with my parents, which is really lovely. I have mixed ancestry. I'm Coast Salish on my mother's side from Peneliquid Island. And I get to work on a lot of projects like this. Someone asked, have we done childcare before? And Heidi and I have designed other childcare before. And I also connected the student housing project in Terrace that has a carving by Arlene Ness. We were just talking about that. That's a project that we worked on as well. So we're really excited to be here. And we're going to start with some prizes. Right, Esley?
So we wanted to go through some of the gifts that we brought from home. So this is not gifts from our own company. This is from our home to yours. So we're going to go around and talk about each of the gifts that we brought. So for me, I brought a Lego set because I really like building Lego. And I think I find a lot of joy in coming up with different things because I'm a structural engineer. I like building things. So hopefully this will go to your home. And then to Mason.
Okay, so I baked some chocolate chip cookies, freshly made, so if any of you guys want chocolate chip cookies. So they are not gluten-free, so if you're celiac or don't eat gluten, stay away from these. There's no nuts in them, just chocolate. So they're delicious. I tried. So go for these. And I'll pass it off to Frida.
We thought we'd buy your love with food. So I actually, during the pandemic, I had time on my hands and I learned to make beanies. So I made 2 wool beanies. There's a purple one and a mustard one. And I also learned how to make bead fringe earrings. So I made a couple of pair of earrings.
I didn't make anything, I'm sorry, but I grew up in Smithers and I went to Paul's Bakery and they have the cinnamon bread. I don't know if you've had the cinnamon bread from Paul's Bakery. It is like gold. And so I went yesterday, I'm like, I need to get some of this and bring it. Okay. I should have brought more cinnamon bread. Yeah, yeah. And then Heidi, do you want to talk about any of our other things? Yeah, okay. Okay, Heidi brought herself. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we have a lot of swag, but we have these different colored notebooks. At our company, we like to brand everything. So, you know, this is an umbrella. You may not use an umbrella.
All right, so we'll start off with the first set of door prizes. All right. Does everyone have a ticket? Okay, and then if you fill out the survey, you get 1 more ticket. But we'll be doing more door prizes during the day, and the last door prizes are the gift cards. All right, what's the number? Okay, 28474-047. 047. Come on up! Right. The next number is 039. 039. Come on up. Okay, wait. Can you say it? 071.
No.
Can you say it?
071.
071.
I got the 047.
071. Is it 0471? Who's 071? Oh, 071. Yeah. Can you say it? You want to say it? 074?
74.
074. 74. No, I don't think so.
No, that was one of them.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll do 2 more. I think that's it. All right, 015. Let's hold on. 015. We got 015. Woo! Okay. So it's like 019. 019.
019.
019. Yay!
You picked your mom. I think he didn't cheat. We promised he didn't cheat. It's cheese. You get to choose from the table.
Heidi's going to start us off with
Yeah.
Do we have a Heidi Island for you?
Okay, okay. Yeah, just so I can see it maybe a little bit, if it can go over there. Okay, so we have, as you can see on the table, we have so many more prizes. So you just have to listen to me talk a little bit about this project, and then we'll do some more prizes after that. So just bear with me for a minute. I think everybody knows we're here to talk about a new daycare in Kispiox. So pretty excited, much needed project. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a background on why a daycare. There's obviously needs for lots of different buildings in the community. So associated engineering, can you go to the next slide, Aiden? Before you take a picture of me, that's embarrassing. Associated Engineering came up to the community at the end of 2023 and did a needs assessment. That was the very first step in the kind of federal government's long process that we have to go through to get access to the funding to build the building. Obviously, that's the goal at the end of the day, to build the building, but first they had to do a needs assessment. In the needs assessment, we talked to lots of people and found out there's needs for all kinds of buildings here, office buildings, recreation facilities, but the one that came up to the top and that has access to funding right now is a childcare facility. So that's what we're here to talk about today. And we're at the very start of the childcare facility. So this is a little schedule. We've done some of the background research on the sites and a little bit of early application to get some funding. Yeah, you want that too? So we have some funding to do some of the early design work, and then we have to produce a report to go back to the federal government and say that we have a design that the community's been involved with that will meet the needs of the children here. And so it's kind of like the really early stage of the design. We'll look at the ages that need care, the type of care, the way that you want to provide care for your children. So we're really step one. And so some of the questions, we've been talking to some of you, if you haven't had a chance, there's questions up on the board, particularly on the one that has the most yellow sticky notes, has some really specific questions. We're welcome to any feedback at all, but there are some specific questions that we're hoping you can help us with. Like, what's the best way for your children to learn about Gitxsan culture? This is obviously something that white people that come from Vancouver can't answer. So we'd really appreciate your feedback on that one. And what brings the most joy to your children and yourselves in the community? How can we turn that into good spaces for the children, for parents, and for caregivers going forward? So there's a few more questions on those first boards right there. And then we identified a couple options for sites. So there's 2 sites that we've identified on the map. You can see the map of the community over there. And the school has the big red roof. It's really easy to identify. And the suggested sites are just down the road from the school. And the reason that we've suggested those together with the engineering team is they have access to water and sewer and power. And they're also really close to the existing school. So if you have kids of different ages, you're doing pickup, drop off, or maybe an older kid is dropping off, we think it's probably the easiest place to get the new structure built, but we're super open to other ideas. Come have a conversation with us, put a note up on the sticky board, whatever works best for you. I'm gonna pass it over to Aiden to talk about some of the more specifics about the design feedback.
Okay, thanks Heidi. So as architects, before we design a building, we have to create what we call a program. A program is like a list of spaces. So it's like, how big is it? What should it feel like? What should the space, how do we make sure that it has the right light and those types of things? And so some of the work we need to do is define, make sure we understand what the spaces are. So some of the first spaces we need to learn about from you guys is the childcare specific spaces. So that's the first board on the left. So thinking about them is we want to create spaces for infants, so kids that are from 0 to 1.5 years old. We want to create spaces for toddlers, separate spaces for them that are like 1.5 to 3 years old. And then we understand there's also a need for preschool spaces, so kids that are 3 to 5. And then also in addition, that is after school care. So we encourage you to share with us not only like, yes, it's needed, but also what should the space feel like? Like how do we create a space that is welcoming, that is safe, things like that. So we want to learn about each of those spaces. Then we can understand how big they are and we can design them. If you go to the next slide, Heidi. So connected to the indoor spaces are also outdoor spaces. And we know that you guys do a lot of work learning from the land. We know that things like smokehouses are important. And so we want to understand from you what's important about outdoor spaces. How do we create safe outdoor spaces? How do we create outdoor spaces that are really helping kids learn about culture? So things like smokehouse, about medicinal gardens. I heard you also teach drumming, things like that. So where should drumming happen in the building? Things like that. Hi, hi. Yes, yes. And where do we find, how do we help kids find their voice? Like this, like that. Yeah. And so in addition to the outdoor spaces, it's also envisioned that in this building, in addition to the childcare spaces, there's a space that's dedicated to language and culture. Yes. And so in that language and culture space, we've heard lots about the importance of language and culture. So people talk to me about learning about how to sew. I've also heard things about canning and things like that. So the idea that there's a kitchen too, that you can learn about canning, things like that. And so we'd like to learn, but how do we make sure that there is a space that we could really pass along language? So we really appreciate that language is really important. So how do we create a space that's for that? So I think that's really it for us. So there's the survey. If you haven't completed the survey, you can then do that and get another ticket. Sorry? Oh, and the survey is also on the Facebook page. So we know that you're each connected to lots of family members and community. So if you could really expand this reach, so we'd love to hear from as many people as possible, that'd be great. And we're here for another hour and a bit. And then we're here with the school tomorrow. We'll be meeting with students all day tomorrow as well. Anything else? Oh. Okay, we'll do some more door prizes. And at the end, there's some big door prizes, right, Esily? So there's like gift cards. Yes. Yeah. 032. It's like bingo. Yes. No? No. Okay. 032. Okay. Hi. Hi. Oh no, you're good.
So you can pick anything from the table.
Yeah. Yeah, anything from here. Yeah. Do you want to pick a ticket?
038.
038.
Oh, lucky.
Yes.
I got the right person to pick it. Somebody else want to help me? You want to help me again? What are the last three numbers?
067.
067. Well, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, one more incoming.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done. So great. High currency.
It's funny because I think these are like jackets. If you want to try it on, you can. Yeah, yeah. That looks nice and warm. That's an extra large. Yeah. Yeah. 043. Oh, we have a winner. Okay.
Because the completed surveys, people are getting their second chance.
Yes.
057.
057. So, all right. What's her name again? Yes.
talking or?
Oh, no, no, just curious. Yeah. So, are we gonna, we'll do the final prizes in a little bit? So, like,
Right now it's one.
should we just say like in 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Or maybe a little bit more because they want to come up to the board, right?
Okay.
Maybe in
20 minutes? I don't want, it's one. Not too. I feel like 15 minutes is good. 20 minutes? Okay. Okay. Here, I'll let you do that. You got this.
Okay. So we'll be doing the next set of draws in about 5 minutes. So we encourage you to come up to the boards, provide your feedback, ask questions. We're happy to hear from you. So we'll check back in about 5 minutes.
What do I have for the big prizes?
You have
The two 100s I'm going to give today.
I have a 100 that we'll give for the online survey.
Okay, so one is for the, so 100 is for the online survey. So to give away, so the Visa ones, right?
I got 350s and then 450 get a max market.
Okay, so I'm going to save 250s for tomorrow for the kids.
Yeah.
So that means I have to give away now 350 Visas and one 100.
You have actually 750s. So you are leaving 2 for tomorrow. You have 550s and 2 100s.
Yeah, but one of the 100s I'm giving away, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a third one.
Oh, there is a third.
So
Okay.
you have 550 and 2 100s.
Okay, and 3 of them are, 2 of them will be from the Gitamax market, right? And 3 of them are from Visa. So tell them.
No, there's 4. Wait. Yeah, I'll let you say it.
No, so what we're gonna have is 2 100s at the end.
Here, let me just pull it on.
No, it's 2 100s, 2 50s, and 3 Visas. 350 Visas, right? Yeah. So if you stick around to the very end, spend some time with us. What there is there's 2 $100 gift cards from Gitamax Market, and then there's 2 $50 gift cards from the Gitamax Market, plus 3 $50 Visa cards. So that's at the very end. Get your surveys in. It gives you more opportunity to win. You double up on your chances.
Sorry, so it's 2 100s. These are the 2 100s. 50, 50, 50s. So, hi everyone. I just got a suggestion to see if there's a need to have a Q&A session. Does anyone have any comments or questions they want to raise here in this space? Yeah, come on up. Yeah.
Okay. My question is, and I think having a daycare is what we do need here, and having the facilities and stuff, but are we going to have qualified staff? Are we going to have dedicated staff? We're already short of ECEs. We got people that are getting their training, but they have no place to work. We have kids or young adults that are really, really good with kids, but they're not able to read, and they need their ECE in order to do something like this. Are we planning a training program too, so that we can have both? Like, having a building without the staff is kind of not going to help, right?
So we understand the building also needs to have staff members, and as part of the ECE certification, I believe ECEs need to do a practicum in a daycare environment or in an early education environment. So we're hoping that it could be a training opportunity to bring up new ECEs and that we can attract new CEs into the community. So it is part of our plans to bring in new staff and also attract new talent from other communities. Any other questions? So the question is, what is the timeline for the project? Yeah. So our team is looking after the architectural and engineering design part. So right now we're going through the feasibility study. So based on the PowerPoint slides, we have until end of June to submit our feasibility study. And as part of the feasibility study, we do have to look at staffing. We also have to look at operation and maintenance requirements for the building. So our team is looking at all those feasibility needs just to run that daycare complex. So the next question is, what's the square footage of the building and the approximate budget for the funding? And this is part of our process for the feasibility study because we're looking at the survey results, we're looking at the population information in the community, we are looking at what we would like to see inside the daycare complex. So I don't have the square footage right now, but that's part of our process for this feasibility study. And then based on the square footage, we're able to determine what the approximate budget would be. Yeah, so the question is the funding based on current kids here in community and how that funding is being calculated? So we are looking at different funding sources, and each funding source have different requirements. This feasibility study is through the Canadian Human Rights Tribunal 41. So we're looking at partial funding for the Language and Cultural Center within the daycare complex. And then we're going to look at what the needs are. So we will be speaking with the school board, we'll be speaking to the school staff just to see how many seats would be needed at the new daycare complex, and possibly look at phasing the project so that we can add more spaces in the future when the demands keep growing in the community. Yeah.
I thought you won't stop talking. Anyway, questions in general, not one specific, because it is quite important for the people of this community, where they live and what is going on around where they live. My name is William Blackwater. Called me William Blackwater by the Indian agent. My real name is Neist and Baskalaha, chief name. Now, a lot of things I've asked questions in general, but it's related to what is going to happen in our community. And we're talking about daycare complex. And we're also going to be talking about financial. Where is the money coming from? Because we are already in bad shape in this community. So the housing complex is on now, right now. And we owe Kispiox Band, Kispiox Village, people owed $12 million. And where is that going to come from? Who has the money to pay that $12 million back? Nobody's working. And what is the policy? Is that if you don't make a payment, if you're part of these housing or the multiplex that's right here in the Kispiox, you are going to be removed from that facility, removed from that housing. Then where are you going to go? It's very, very important. Who finances these projects? I went and checked this out. I went to 3 municipalities, our neighbor next door, Hazelton, New Hazelton, and I sat down with them and asked a few questions. Those people, under the municipality rules and operation, is they don't owe 1 cent, not a penny. Any project that comes by or what they wanted to have in the municipality, in the little town, they go and make an application for funding. That money comes first before any project is developed. Now, the danger part of this is the policy within the Indian Act of our people. Default payments. And one community in this Gitsan nation here in this area is Kitwangah. They've been under the default policy for 17 years. And that community is run by professional consultants. And they're spending money like crazy. But the community is still under the third management. It's very, very important that we shouldn't owe any money here because we don't have money, there's no jobs, no nothing. And who's paying for it? Who is getting rich? The banks? The rest of the corporate businesses? The builders? Contractors? They got their money and we don't have the money to pay them. I am very, very amazed. I like this. I wouldn't wait for another day to have a complex of daycare. That is needed so bad. But who is going to pay for it? That's the question. The question is, people are paying rent of that own of $12 million. That's a lot of money for a little place like Kispiox. I got more to ask, but I'm not going to. Oh, by the way, just on the side, what was going on here today, drawing tickets and having winners and having losers, that's a bad beginning. Right in this hall, we have a few winners and a bunch of losers. How does that grab you? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Can I respond back to him? And then, yeah. Thanks, Bill, for your responses. And our team is looking at different funding sources for the daycare complex. And we want to avoid own source funding from Kispiox. So we're looking at all these external funding opportunities. So either through CHRT 41, looking at Childcare BC. So we're looking at all those funding opportunities. And as part of the funding application, we do need to submit a feasibility study. So looking at if the sites are feasible for the daycare complex, looking at the cost, looking at the size of the building. So this is the very first step before we can do any other further funding applications. So we're looking at all different sources. And then in terms of the prize draws, we'll be doing more prize draws, but towards the end, for those that haven't got a prize, all these items up here, you're welcome to take as well at the end of the meeting. So we don't want to avoid a situation where there are winners and losers. So everyone will have a chance to get something on the table today.
One of the things we try to do is to, when building a building, how do we involve as many community members as possible so the equity comes back to community. So there's training in the building of a building. And so that will come later on, but that's stuff that we try to do as much as possible so that you're saying, who gets rich? Is it the builders? You know, buildings cost money, but as much as possible, how do we find ways to train people if they want to? We work with the builders that train people, and we build. So there's other opportunities like that that we hope to bridge as we move forward.
Hello, I was just wondering, was there any talk about trying to collaborate with other organizations in order to get the funding to build this and make it more possible? I think it's something that our community really needs, and like we were saying, not just a daycare, like a bigger place, a community thing, maybe they might have other opinions. And a lot more people involved other than just one organization would make a lot more sense to me, because they have other people they could reach out to and make it possible, so we're not just talking about it or just making something small. If you're going to build, you might as well make something a lot bigger and a lot more to offer the community than just one thing in one building. Since it's a big job to just start something, we could make a multiplex building instead of something just small. Like it's something our community would benefit from. Like I was saying, a community kitchen to teach life skills, not just to the smaller kids, it could be to all ages. Some adults don't know how to cook certain basic things either in this day and age. So I think that sometimes reaching out and forming relationships with other organizations to make it more feasible for us would benefit. We have more than one organization in this area. I think it's something like and trying to do it on their own just doesn't seem like, you know what I mean. Form relationships and ask if any other organizations want to get in on this and make it a bigger project, and so they could contribute too. And that's what I was saying about to them, is that if this building it would be beneficial for people to go to school, the mothers that want to go to school or get jobs. That is the importance of this place too, because a lot of people can't do that when they have to be at home with their children. So it would benefit their education and their employment.
Can I respond to her question? So we are looking at different funding sources, funding partners, looking to see where this space makes sense so that it could also be a multi-use space for life skills training. So we're looking at all those opportunities, and we understand how important this daycare complex is for families, whether you're working, studying, or pursuing other opportunities. We feel this is a very essential part of the community. Okay, next question.
Hello, my name is Corrine Garamella, and a lot of you know me as Dorinda Wilson, but I legally changed my name to Corrine and got married, and now my last name is Garamella. I sobered up about 5 years ago and found my voice and started my own organization, which is ROAR, Reclaiming Our Ancestral Roots Society, and it's a First Nations-led organization, and it's about uplifting the community and creating unity and healing and empowerment and demanding equity for First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. I'm all set up in Kelowna, but I'm here waiting for the grand arrival of my first granddaughter. And while I'm here, I've been connecting with the community and reaching out to bands and organizations and the health center and the school, because I'd like to get some youth programming going and some sober programming going and some mental health programming going, and I want to base it around the youth mostly and life skills and you know, to support with the grief and loss. The children are getting filed into foster care, and I see about 150 people a month in my office downtown Kelowna, and 50% of them are Indigenous. And a lot of the people that come through my office looking for help are those that are exiting foster care. The children need us. And I'm here, and I'm here to listen to what the community needs, and I'd like to pitch in where I can. And I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Oh, we got one there. I'll come to you.
Good afternoon. Nice to see everybody out. I look forward to this project going forward. Mother of 4, grandmother of 6, and that's not including all the extended grandchildren. In previous projects, what are we looking for how many numbers for new employment? And how do parents pay for the childcare? Is there a fee that they have to pay for? I know back when my children were growing up and my sister's kids, we exchanged childcare for free. And nowadays, you just don't see that happening. Honestly, I bike my kids halfway across the reserve. I think at one time I had 3 on the bike just so I can go to work, but and 3 on a stroller. If I couldn't ride the bike, I had 3 on a stroller. So Yeah. This one says she doesn't want to go 3 on a bike.
Thank you for your responses, and we understand the importance of making sure childcare is an affordable option. So we'll be working with council, we'll be working with the school board just to make it possible for this daycare complex. Any other questions, comments? Projected employment? Yeah, so that would be part of our feasibility study to see how many staff members will be hired as part of this daycare complex. And there could be also employment opportunities during construction as well for those that are looking for trade skills during construction. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Okay. One more? Do you have a question? No.
Is there any programs for special needs for these kids because it's more prevalent in here?
Yeah. So the question is, are there any considerations for special needs kids? And it is at our forefront, and it's actually one of the items that we put on the list to see if there's a need for sensory spaces for those that experience autism, or any other spaces just to make sure it's accessible for anybody, any developmental stage. You're talking about like the learning developmental accessibility. So the question is if there's funding for learning developmental assessments. We'll look into that. And I know there are certain programs such as Jordan's Principle just to make sure that all the kids have access to speech therapists, occupational therapists, just to make sure that they get the help they need. Any other questions? Okay, one more. So the question is whether there's a fee for the childcare space. So we're still determining that, but we understand that there is a need for affordable childcare spaces. Any other? Oh, there's one more.
So as you can hear, a lot of the comments and concerns are to do with fees, money. You hear Samogat East talk about jobs. That is probably one of the biggest things to take into consideration. You know, a lot of people try hard. Some of them are very young, with very little work experience, or they've had to stay in the village because there's too many children, too many young ones to go off far and make money at camp. So you need to really have an answer for that. Like, I know this is pretty early, but it would be nice to know well ahead of time. Another comment is about the employment that you always hear. Whenever somebody comes into our community and starts building something, they talk about, oh, there's going to be job opportunities. And in the end, a couple of community members end up sweeping the floor. It always happens. Specialized workers come in. So keep that in mind. How many
Thank you for your comments. Yeah, the question is how many seats are in the daycare complex, what age groups, and are there different spaces? So we are doing that feasibility study to determine the number of seats, the sizes of the spaces, and in terms of the separate rooms, we'll be following the Ministry of Education requirements just to make sure we have the right amount of space for each child and that there's the right amount of ratio between ECEs and the kids. So we'll make sure that we meet all those requirements. Okay.
I want to bring back to the first comment, about the qualifications of the staff that you plan on having and running the daycare. I want to even take it further than, once you have the building and once you're sitting there, in the community. I feel, that we need to even have people doing what you guys are doing right here. Like, why do we have a big specialized team come in, when we have our own people, that have the qualifications and the education? I'm not trying to bellyache, but, living in poverty, it's not fun. Seeing our own people suffering is not fun. You guys can come in and build us a nice center, but is it really our center? I know that, for myself, I want a nice big area, to do music and movement, song and dance, where you have a good sound system so that, the elders can come in, teachers can come in, people who are learning and training can come in and watch and observe without interrupting the flow of the schooling and the education, that our ECE students are, trying to learn. To me, I just feel like, it's nice to have things happening in our community, but we need to put our own people to work. I've got my early childhood education. I'm a provincially licensed early childhood educator. Nobody's come to me and asked me for any feedback. I do music and movement. I know how to cook. People pay me really good money to cook. I don't have a degree in cooking. I don't have a red seal. But at the same time, we need to put our own people to work and not just, when we build the building, we'll hire some people here. The energy that gets put into this right from the beginning is what needs to be addressed. I feel that we're just going to have another building and then it'll go for 4 years and then be shut down. Like, what a waste of resources. We have other, housing that people are living in and they don't even respect what they have. That's my judgment. That's what I observe. I truly believe, yes, we need a center for our little Majorele. We need a center for our elders to come in and, reconnect, with the kids, teaching and handing down, all the teachings and share, what they were taught when they were little. But may it be in a safe place. Not, Jay, 4 o'clock, what, if you're here at 4:15, we're adding another $5 late fee on you. Like, that's such a colonizer way. You talk about, saying, yeah, we'll follow all the guidelines, from, you said teachers, but I'm saying childcare. It's a licensing childcare, and how we've set up the facilities. So, like I said, I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, you know, and be excited about this center. I just feel, you know, the center needs to come from our people and not outsiders. I have nothing, I think it's wonderful, but you know, there's nothing wrong with pulling somebody in the community and saying, hey, we need to get this done. You know, let's work together, let's collaborate. You know, let's build up the skills on those people that really want to go into ECE, but don't have, you know, not sure about the experience. But you know what? They're really, really good, you know, setting up the layout of a building and how things are going to run. So I'm, like for example, we got a cook shack down there in, down at the ball field. Like, being a person that cooks, I looked around and I thought, who laid this out? Some guy that was doing the, applying for the grant, he laid it out. Did the guy go in and do any cooking? No. You know, and look what happened, you know, we can't even use that cook shack anymore. So, you know, we gotta really, we have a community of wonderful people who are willing to do the work. They just need the opportunity. And I believe our children deserve it. But it needs to belong to the community, not the band office. Hatmia.
Thank you. I think we're running out of time right now, so we want to do the gift card door prizes. Frida, you have the door prizes, right? Yeah, we'll do the gift cards right now.
Okay. Get the door prizes?
Yeah. Which one are we doing?
Okay.
The $50, and then the $100 last, and then.
Okay.
All right. So before we start the gift card door prizes, we want to make sure everyone got the chance to fill out the survey and got the extra ticket. Everyone has filled out the survey? Okay, so there will be 3 $50 Visa cards, 2 Get a Max $50 gift cards, but we'll start with the $50 Visa. Can you give it to me?
Yeah.
Give it to me? Yeah.
Here you go. Here you go. You choose this one. You choose one now.
All right. The number is 051. 51. Oh. Come on up. Yep. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
08.
068. 068. Zero 6 8. Oh, here we go.
Here you go. Here you go. This way.
Okay, this is the last $50 Visa gift card. 058. 058. Zero 58. You checked all your pockets, your kids' pockets. Okay, another one. Okay, 060. 60. Oh, here we go. Okay, the next is a $50 Ginamax Market. Oh, you can give me one. Okay. All right. 003. Oh. 003.
058.
Oh, 058 was the other gift card. Okay. 058 is found.
Right here, thank you.
So we'll give him the other $50 gift card. Okay. All right. $100 Ginamax card. There's two of them. Okay, first one. 010. 010. Oh, here we go.
Okay, last one. Is that right? Is there one more?
Yeah, this is the last one. Oh, you okay? Okay. Okay. Okay, very last gift card. But if your number is not called today, you're welcome to come up to her table to get any item of your choice. Okay, last number is 062. 062. Zero 62. Anybody? $100 Ginamax Market. All right. 062. Last call. Okay. Next number. 020. 020. No? What's that? No. Is that the? It is 020. Here you go.
Yay! Make sure you give it to mommy.
All right. Thanks to everyone. If you haven't won a prize, please come up. We got a few items on the table. If you haven't won a door prize, you can come up. Just come up. If you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Frida knitted these hats. Frida over there.
Done.